Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of the week again. It is Friday, July 17th, 2020. We're about to embark on another pocket change market report. So we're going to go ahead and explore all of the notable finds that sold on eBay here in the last day or two. Should be pretty exciting because the reason why I say that is, well, because of a certain coin shortage that might be happening out there. Actually, it's a real thing from experience. I've been unsuccessful in getting any sort of rolls in quantity from my local bank. And with this whole virus deal, it has put the banking system in a little bit of a predicament when it comes to their coins. So, there are people that still have the ability to obtain these rolls from the bank. Okay, and because of that, we're seeing continuing just strong market for errors and varieties and other great stuff on the secondary market. eBay, of course, is the go-to outlet to explore some of these completed sales. All right, so I got 25 coins to examine here with you today. Some of them are repeats, as in you've seen them before, but it just goes to show you the reason why I continuously put this up on the Pocket Change Market Report is they still sell for a good deal of money. You know, anything compared to face value that is a lot higher, certainly gives a little cause to just sit back and examine deeper and wider into why these coins are selling for a lot of money. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that again. So if this is your first time checking out the Pocket Change Market Report, okay, the same rules apply up and down. We are only going to look at coins that are raw, all right, coins that traditionally people will go out, they'll find, they'll identify the attribution for that, say, double to die or that error. And they'll go ahead and take that coin, take a couple images, throw it up on eBay, set it up for a 7-day auction or a 5-day or a buy it now type listing, and then let it ride. All right, and that's how we come to this report right here. Now, I don't talk about graded coins. The big idea is you find these coins, you turn around and you list them. All right, grading means that you have to send your coin out to a third-party grader. You got to pay them a boatload of money. You know, the coin may not be worth that. So, that's the good news, is we're going to look at the most efficient and economical way of turning these coins around and making some pretty good money in the process. So treasure hunters are still capitalizing, even though there is an obvious coin shortage. Kudos to everybody still making the hunt happen. Call the bank if you're unsure of whether or not they have rolls for you. Sometimes it's better to get 5 rolls of a certain coin than getting nothing. That also gives you the opportunity to, dig in deep and find something really neat that could be added to your collection where you can make a few bucks extra on it. Alright, so before we go ahead and jump in, as always, like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notification. If you enjoy collecting money, then you might be at the right spot. My name's Sean, and this is BlueRidgeSilverhound. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the first listing on eBay that we came across this evening. And it's going to be this beauty right here. It's a 1974 Denver minted Lincoln Memorial set. Now, obviously, these coins don't come from the mint this way, but based off of this particular composition, all right, anything copper like this reacts really quickly to the moisture, to the air, to heat. And this is a coin here, no doubt about it, over time developed some pretty good looking toning on the obverse. Yeah, you got some of this pink, magenta, you got some really pretty teal blue right in the center of the coin. This one right here looks like it could be a roll ender, but it could also have come from an old album. All right, they pop up when you least expect them, but make sure that you keep an eye out for coins that look like this, because now all of a sudden there's this great secondary market of collectors looking for just obscene looking coloration like this one. Now this one right here, in case you're curious, did sell for $18.50. And like always, all the prices that I'm going to give you up and down this report integrates shipping charges as well. All right, so I think there was like $3.50 shipping for this 74D in there. So yeah, pretty nice. So we got another one here for you. This one is got some pretty nice blue peripheral toning on the obverse of the coin. This one looks like it could have been a roll ender, just based off of the information that we see in these photos. But this is a 63 Lincoln Memorial, and this one sold for $16.50. Sold for a little bit less because it doesn't have that kind of like bullseye targeted coloration like the previous coin does. But all in all, a very stunning coin. The pictures are just right for this listing because you get to see the vibrancy of the colors of this toning. Keep that in mind. Make sure you play around with your lighting if you want to sell coins like this. It takes a little bit of a kind of steady hand to get it down right. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you do some practice, certainly that'll come to fruition, and then you could make money in the process. Okay, so the third coin on the list is going to be a 1983 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. This one is about 8 to 10% off center. You can see it on both sides of the coin. It's not too crazy off center. That's going to be a lot bigger than the actual size of the nickel. All right, so finding one of these maybe in a roll of nickels might still be an option. Okay. Some would say, well, you know, it's kind of tough to find something like this, and yeah, it is. If it was that easy, then it would be a sure thing for everybody else, right? But this prime example of an off-center error sold for $18.25. So that's a good-looking coin right there. All right, so this is the only real usable image on this particular listing. It's a 1981 Lincoln Memorial. That's double struck. All right, so you have the main strike right here of what looks like a regular penny, and then it was struck another time right here, probably going from one, I guess, striking chamber to the next. You know, there are a number of striking chambers in the press. You know, that'll strike multiple coins at the same time. So they would commonly refer that as to a saddle strike, only, you know, on this particular case, you don't have that extra void down the middle between both strikes. You have a fully struck coin with a secondary strike that is way off center, probably about 85% off center. So there's no visible second date on there. That would be extra special. But this one right here did sell for $55 as it sits. All right, so pretty nice coin right there. Great looking error. All right, so for those of you that live in the southern region, more specifically Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, that area, you could still find these leaf variety Wisconsin quarters. Okay, this was the main drop zone when these things were released 16 years ago. All right, so you had a low leaf variety, which is what this one is here. You can see that extra leaf here on the corn stalk, or the corn leaf or whatever it is, and you have one that's a high leaf that actually follows the same line as the that leaf right there. But this one right here, again, is found in that region of question, and it's only occurring on the 2004 Denver, Wisconsin quarters. Now this one right here, it's obviously worn, so it's found in change at some point. Did sell for $95, and this one was sold in San Antonio, Texas. Okay, that's the original origin of the seller in this particular case. Now this is a really incredible double-sided cut Washington quarter. Kind of hard to say exactly what the date is. It does say 1983 in the listing, but you have an obvious huge cut on the obverse here, covering up a few letters of the of Liberty, and then on the reverse, it's covering up of and part of America. All right, so they occur on different edges of the coin in relation to obverse and reverse. you can actually see the weakness right here over the date of where the corresponding reverse cut is, and then vice versa here. There's not too many coins that have been attributed with a double cut. On the quarters, however, there are a couple. This is one of them, and this is an incredible coin. Now, right off the bat, this coin sold for $100. You know, I've seen coins like this sell for a lot more. I've seen them as high as $200. Again, grade does play, you know, kind of a factor in it. But this particular coin right here is just phenomenal. And if you're able to find one, even a single-sided cut, that's a home run in itself. These are very desired coins, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure you don't toss these out and accidentally mistaken them as damaged. All right, so we have just a typically just honest looking Lincoln Memorial cent. It's a Denver minted coin, although we really don't know what the full date is on this one. It's a 2000 question mark. But that's the error. Okay, we got a little strike through grease or a clogged die happening here where the last digit in the date completely missing. Aside from that, it's a relatively worn Lincoln Memorial, copper coated zinc composition. But this one right here sold for $13. Okay, that's $13 more than probably you would have had if you, you know, pulled this thing out. This coin has obviously seen quite a bit of circulation, so not a lot of people really paying attention to these. But, you know, there you go. Not a bad find and not a bad sale. Alright, so forgive the photos. These are the originals to this seller, but this is a 2019 Philadelphia Lincoln Shield cent, but you can see a little something right here going through the 2 and the date. Upon closer examination, you have an extremely nice die crack that goes from the rim and into the front tip of Lincoln's bust, and then through the field, through the 2, and then all the way up to, I believe, the nape of the neck on Lincoln. We have seen in the last few years, especially the Philadelphia minted coins, just incredible die cracks that look like this. There is another one, I believe it's 2019 also, that runs horizontally through the date. Okay, and that is a phenomenal find if you're able to catch it. But again, this is a coin that I would say that a lot of people don't really pay any attention to. All right, considering the fact that it is on a newer dated coin, and some would look at it and probably wouldn't be able to see it with enough effective clarity. Okay, so if you are going to get into errors in variety hunting, okay, as always, you know, I was bound to throw this in here, ladies and gentlemen. A good jeweler's loop or magnifier is key to succeeding in this hobby. If you need one, I have some available in Amazon, links below the video in the description box. Just go ahead and hit show more, expand it out. Pick the supply of your choice. We got books and all sorts of other great stuff, even microscopes. And go ahead and purchase yourself a nice inexpensive jeweler's loop. An 8 to 10 times power is more than sufficient, and they'll probably run you about $6 to $10, okay, depending on how fancy you get. But you do need something like that. I carry one with me at all times, everywhere I go. And, you know, I take a look at my coins each and every single time. I go to coin dealers and shops and all that stuff, shows. And I always have a jeweler's loop, all right? Because if you miss out, you're going to be leaving a lot on the table, whether it's for your collection or for your wallet. All right, so this one right here, sorry to get off on a tangent, but this 2019 obverse crack with what looks to be a little bit of a cut action here, sold for $12.19. That's not too bad for a new coin. All right, so we're coming up to the conclusion of the National Park quarters, but it's always good to go and recap some of the more notable national parks. Okay, the Homestead quarter has, for the last 5 years, been a great topic of conversation for a number of reasons. Okay, you have a ton of various double die reverses that have been attributed over the years. We've seen those two involving the pump handle and the window and that middle subject on the reverse. But on this particular one, all right, this is a coin that also exhibits quite a bit of quality issues. Okay, a lot of die cracks, a lot of chips, a lot of great stuff. As a collector and a searcher, this is the one date that you absolutely need to look at each and every single time. All right, so on this particular one, you have a really nice progression of a die chip or a break. Okay, generally on these coins, especially just the Philadelphias, they have a leaky bucket error die chip that occurs on the bottom of this bucket right here. You usually have a larger die chip or a break, and they get bigger, smaller. You know, it's really phenomenal. But they occur all across the reverse of the coin, even on the roof of that building. Okay, they've been referred to as the snowy roof variety, and even to this day, those are coins that people want. You know, they'll pay $5-10 a piece for them. Kind of crazy, huh? So what did this one sell for? $8.95. That's not too bad, right? I mean, it is just a quarter initial investment, plus a little bit of your time and energy. So this is a great find right here. But there are a lot more and varying die progressions that you need to look out for. Okay, so this is the same coin, I promise. It's a 1984 Lincoln Memorial set. I think you guys might be thrown off by the black background here and the white here. But what it is it's a two-colored holder, kind of like a plastic slab deal with a cardboard insert that holds the coin. And the back is white, the front's black. But anyways, this 1984 doesn't look like much. But if you get closer, we have a nice doubled die. Even though the images are really fuzzy, you can see the splitting here on the bottom tail of the 9, the bottom of the 8, part of the 4. You can even see a little notching in there. This is a great doubled die. This one is actually Wexler's DDO number 2. So it's a fully attributable doubled die obverse that is constantly being looked for in through the daily hunts of a lot of treasure hunters out there. But this one right here, the date looks good, and so is Liberty. You're going to see a lot of the same kind of spread on Liberty as well. It's really hard to miss. But again, for a coin in this condition, sold for $40. All right, so that's not bad for 1 cent. 4,000 times face value seems pretty good to me. Okay, one of my favorite topics. Okay, again, it's not an error, it's not a variety, but these coins seem to have picked up a ton of steam since the beginning of the year. Okay, and that's machine doubled coins. We have a popular date for it, 1969S. Without even showing you any close-ups, you can see some of the machine doubling on the date. And then on the nose as well, you can see like almost a doubled nose, but I guarantee you it's more shelf-like in nature, which is one of those particular diagnostics of a machine doubled coin. Now, close-up view, the date and the mint mark are both machine doubled, where typically the mint mark would not be doubled if it was a genuine doubled die. All right, the way machine doubling works is when these coins are being struck, as you guys know, tens of thousands are being struck in rapid succession. And just like an automobile, these machines get a little wear and tear. All right, so you have maybe a loose hammer die, or that strikes the obverse, and then as these coins are being struck, you might have a little bit of a die shift or a hop, and it'll actually damage some of the devices on the coin, so that way it looks flat and mushy right here. So that's what that looks like. But again, this has become kind of a cult favorite, and because of that, the prices have run up quite a bit on some premier examples of machine doubling. This one right here sold for $51, to give you an idea. $51. The market is still strong for these coins. But we have a second one as well, and this one is equally impressive. Another 69S. I believe it's from the same seller. But you see, almost like a double profile here on Lincoln. Pretty nice, impressive. And upon closer examination, this is the date here. You can see the shelf-like attributes of the machine doubled look and appearance on both the date and mint mark. And here's a profile of Abraham. He looks more like a Babraham because this thing is really cool. Okay, you can even see the double kind of like eye and the cheek and the lips and forehead and all that. This is a really strong representative example of a machine double coin. And then you even see a little bit on the motto too, here on the S&T, In God We Trust. Alright, so if you're like me, I like to look at old coins for a number of reasons. Okay, the worn down ones can be had very affordably. If you're kind of like a coin shop rat like I am, and you like to go through just some of the beat up stuff, you could actually find a gem in a rough, much like this. So it's an 1872 Indian headset, not an easy date to find on its face at all. Okay, this is kind of like a stopper to a lot of collections. But on the reverse, you have a really sizable cut, and this is typical for this particular era. All right, you get a lot of the self-destructing dies that happen on these, and the mint employees sometimes they just don't care. They're going to run these dies into the ground. So you see a lot of examples with like clashing and these incredible cracks and chips and die cuts and cracks and all sorts of other anomalies on there. But this one right here is a great example of a coin that you should pay attention to. The coin obviously has been cleaned, so it's not, a very honest example on itself. But it did sell for $99. I mean, come on. A coin was probably bought for $10. So that was an easy 10 times face flip there. But yes, yeah. Check out some of those older coins, flip them over, and see if you have something like this, because they do appear quite frequently out there. All right, if you're not checking your 1972 Lincoln Memorial cents, I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay, this is the one singular date where there is a whole bunch of opportunity, and the coins can be quite valuable. All right, there's a lot of double the die obverses. There are about 9 or 10 major ones, and this is one of them right here. Now, the pictures are a little bit out of focus, and that's okay, but the close-ups look pretty good. This is the date. Okay, you got a little bit of a stretched one here. You got a stretched bottom tail of the 9 here. You can really see the doubling in the 2. That's about the strongest doubling you'll see in the date. But this is FS 108, I believe, in the Cherry Picker's Guide. And that's the attribution catalog number, by the way, for that particular DDO. But go ahead and check out Liberty. Lots of doubling. Pretty nice. And then, especially on the motto, In God We Trust. Okay, you can see quite a bit of spread right here. Definitely one to keep an eye out for, along with the other 9 of them or so. But this one sold for $26.28. And it's not a high-grade example either. All right, so, you find one that's pretty well circulated. It's still worth money. Now, here is a gorgeous die break cut. It's a unknown date. It's a 19-something another Lincoln Memorial cent that exhibits a pretty nice, what I call kind of like Kahuna wave cut. I've seen a few of these, but this one, because of that curl right here, that's been kind of like the, I don't know, the nickname that this one has had over the years. But this is a really nice high-end example. This one sold for $228.99. Someone did accept a best offer, but man, when I tell you that these things are valuable, they are valuable. The big Kahuna brings home some big money. All right, so here's everybody's favorite new treasure hunt. 2020 West Point quarters with the V75 privy mark. Now this one, the American Samoa Bat quarter, the National Park quarter, has been quite a talking point here as of late because of all the various errors you can find. A lot of strike throughs. We got another one right here. This time it's on the obverse. It's in the hair. There's a big old void right here. There was another picture. It wasn't too great where you can actually see the NQ's kind of like knot or gap in Washington's hair right there. But this one is relatively minor. This is a relatively minor strike through compared to some of the other ones I've seen in the past. But this one did sell for $88.05. The coin in itself is worth about 15-20 bucks. But then again, the West Point Mint, who are traditionally known for their high quality, did not do a very good job with these quarters. And as hunters, we are capitalizing in a big way. These coins are selling for a lot of money. I would encourage you guys to take a second look on both sides of these American Samoa 2020 West Points and even the Philadelphia coins for some pretty amazing strike throughs. Now here's another goodie, another classic. It's a 2000 Lincoln Memorial cent. Not a great grade by any means, but this is also, this is also the wide AM variety. Okay, so you can see a nice sizable gap. Can be seen a lot better under a magnification. All right, so like I had mentioned, a nice loop would take care of that real well. This one right here is sold for $11. Pretty good. All right, so we haven't talked about rim clips in this video yet, but here's the first one. It's the 1970 Lincoln Memorial. This one exhibits 2 rim clips. Bam, right here. One above trust, one above God. And you also have Blakesley effect on both corresponding edges of those cuts right here. This flattening look is the Blakesley. This one is a decent looking example. It's a nice AU brown example. This one right here is sold for 10 bucks. Okay, and the clips are relatively shallow, so these can be found pretty easily, even the doubles. All right, what we have here is a 1964D Jefferson nickel. Looks like the obverse has been struck through, but by what? Well, considering that you have a fully involved obverse here, where everything is just pretty weak in nature, this is one of those coins that was struck through a later stage die cap. All right, so coin being struck gets stuck on the hammer die, and it just sits there, and it continuously strikes other coins along the way, and this is the byproduct. Okay, that coin is kind of like enlarged and wrapped around the die quite a bit, and it's probably pretty thin, because when it gets to this stage, and you can see like Liberty and the date and all that, that sucker is thin. But anyways, this one sold for $48.99. These are always valuable if you can find them. All right, so what we have here is a 1963A $10 Federal Reserve note. Okay, we've seen these before. Although this is the smaller head generation, I think it's least about the actual age of the note, because this thing is almost 60 years old. But it's more of what you could find on the serial number. Okay, so this right here exhibits what we call in the fancy serial number collecting world a low serial number. Generally, to qualify for a low serial number, usually hardcore collectors want to see 5 leading zeros. This one certainly qualifies for that. And it just simply ends with 232. Pretty nice. This one right here sold for $250. It also helps that it is a very nice high-grade specimen too. This is one that probably was found in a strap back 60 years ago, and it has been preserved ever since. Really nice, solid note. Keep an eye out for all fancy serial numbers. You've seen my videos. I've done plenty of them, and they are all valuable. All right, so this is a coin from the same seller as the nickel that we saw 2 listings ago, that nickel. But we have a unknown date, probably 1980s Washington quarter. This one has a little bit earlier stage die cap. Okay, you can see less of the date and the motto and Liberty and all that stuff. It's a lot more mushy, but we do have another strike through die cap here. And this one sold for $103.99. So the earlier the stage of die cap on your error, the more valuable it is. Much like this one. Pretty nice example, by the way. All right, so we got 1985 Philadelphia Washington quarter. This one is off center by about 15, maybe 18%. It's pretty nice. This is a nice higher grade example. Not something I would say you would come across change that often, but you never know. This one right here did sell for $35.75. All right, so there's always a pretty good market for these. It's not going to stop. U.S. Mint errors, off-center type errors are always going to be appreciated well in the marketplace. Check your mint sets. There's a lot of varieties that you could find in these mint sets. Here's another good one for you, 1970S Lincoln Memorial set. There's a bunch of different things you could find on these, from the double die obverse number 1 to the small date. And how about this one? The RPM as well. This is the RPM number 1. I believe this is the Cherry Picker's Guide variety, but you can see 2 S's here overlapping each other. The repunched S is north of the primary S mint mark. All right. The seller even took the liberty of drawing in little red arrows for you to take a look and see exactly where the 2 punches are on this. But this one sold for $38.25. All right, we're almost to the end, guys. How about another brand new 2019 Shield scent? This one, at first glance, looks a little bit off-center, but there's a lot more going that meets the eye. If you look at the edge, you have this kind of like weird split and this kind of like railroading effect. You guys heard me talk about these before, but we have another partial tilted collar. All right, so this coin wasn't 100% seated upon the strike. The collar was tilted a little bit, and you get this effect right here. All right, so yeah, pretty neat. Keep an eye out for these. They exist quite a bit on the higher denominations where you actually have reading on it, only because it's more apparent on those. But this is what it looks like on a penny with a just plain edge. And the final coin of the evening or morning, whenever you decide to watch this. Hopefully I was getting you guys pumped up and primed for this weekend to give you guys a little bit of extra incentive to go out there and search. Or maybe go into your collections and search more. But what we have here is a dual date bicentennial quarter, 76D. What was my good old motto when I talk about these? Errors are king on any bicentennial coinage, whether it's on this quarter, the half dollar, or the Eisenhower dollar. If you're able to find just a little tiny rim clip, save it. It's worth something. There seems to be just like this, all of a sudden, just hot market for error bicentennial coinage. Here's another great one right here. And it could be anything. It could be a strike through grease. It could be a die cap. The more radical the error is on these coins, the better. So this one right here has an obvious large size great white shark clip on there, but guess what? It sold for $130. Where if it was on any other date of quarter, it would probably be worth about $30, if that. So there, that gives you an idea of just the wild comparisons from a bicentennial quarter to a regular one. But there you go. We're going to end it off on this bad boy. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this weekend. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. The Pocket Change Market Report is something I love doing every week for you guys. If you got a few takeaways, outstanding. As always, like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notification. And I am your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. So you guys go get yourself some. You guys try and find yourself some rolls. I know it's difficult because it's difficult for me, but I still go out there. I get a few every so often. Just enough to wet the old whistle, I guess, if that makes any sense. But anyways, yeah, there's money to be made out there. A lot of coins over $100 in this video. A lot of great coins that are like mid-rangey, $50 to $100 that are just incredible, but yet they just seem to like get skipped over by the general populace that just doesn't know any better. But it's okay, because collectors like you and I, we could go out there and find it for them. How do you like them apples? Well, that's going to do it. So, as always, I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you for all the views and support. That's been incredible through this topsy-turvy kind of 2020. Can I get a mulligan, please? Yeah. Well, anyways, that's going to do it. So, you guys take care. Rest easy this weekend. Get into some sort of coin collecting hobby action. And best of luck. Good luck with the hunt. Coinaholics, we are discovering together. And as always, I will see you on the next coin video. You guys take care now.